Philippines ready to host bigger tourneys. WTA Exec. Manila, Philippines. The Philippines is ready to host a bigger and higher level of tennis tournament. That is the evaluation of Women's Tennis Association, WTA, Supervisor Cristina Romero Contla after the country hosted its first ever tour competition, the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, PWO. If you're asking me if the Philippines would be ready to do a tournament of a higher caliber, then they're ready, said Romero to Philippine media in the final day of the PWO Saturday at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. Contla praised the local organizing committee's hosting of the base-level 125 tournament, also called a challenger, even saying that it rivals the higher 250s to some degree. I have done several 125s, and I have to say this is a very, very high standard for it. Actually, it competes with 250s in different categories, said Contla. Fans coming in droves even on game days without Hila, as well as the Filipino hospitality and warm welcome, were not lost on Contla. I think that the most important part is that we all felt very welcome here in the Philippines, said Contla. We saw the crowd that they were super interested in the tournament since day one, since the qualifying. We had a huge amount of people coming every day. We understand that Alex Hila brought a lot of attention to the community, to the people to come and see matches. But she was not the only one that enjoyed the huge crowds. Contla hopes that the successful Philippine hosting of the PWO gets more recognition and draws more attraction from players, sponsors, and fans. I can tell you is that the people, the organizing team, did a fantastic job. They put up the best conditions for our 125, and they went above and beyond on what they could do, said Contla. So what I only hope is that this tournament brings the Philippines the recognition of what they can do. And hopefully, in the future, they can have more and better events. This is about getting back on its feet after a few years of not having so much activity. Yeah, I think that this will encourage sponsors and fans to come back to tennis. And hopefully, we also develop in other areas. So I hope that this tournament helps them out. Game, set, future. Why the Philippines is ready to host bigger tourneys. WTA Exec. Manila, at dawn, the early morning sunlight glints off the newly refurbished courts of the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, a sporting landmark in the heart of the Philippine capital where history is quietly being rewritten. Just weeks ago, this very complex hosted the Philippine Women's Open, the first WTA tour stop ever staged in the country. To tennis lovers, sports officials, and a swelling global audience, it was more than a tournament. It was a statement. The Philippines is ready for bigger stages. And now, a senior Women's Tennis Association, WTA, executive has said so outright. The Philippines is ready to host a bigger and higher level of tennis tournament, declared a WTA official in Manila, a rare endorsement that ripples beyond local excitement into the international tennis calendar. In sporting terms, that belief is not mere rhetoric or hopeful boosterism. It is grounded in the success of the recent WTA 125 event, the willingness of stakeholders to invest in infrastructure and operations, and the palpable surge in Filipino enthusiasm for tennis, a sport traditionally overshadowed by basketball and boxing in this archipelago nation. This is a story of transformation, aspiration, and the making of a new chapter in Philippine sports. The Big Break, Philippine Women's Open. Held from January 26 to 31, 2026, the Philippine Women's Open marked a watershed moment, the first official WTA event on Philippine soil. Long envisioned and actively pursued by the Philippine Sports Commission, PSC, and Philippine Tennis Association, FILTA, the tournament represented more than 6 months of planning, negotiation, and preparation. In the lead-up, workers labored through nights to retrofit the aging courts and facilities of Rizal Memorial Sports Complex to meet international standards set by the global governing body. The aim was simple yet ambitious: send a message that the Philippines is capable of hosting world-class tennis and, perhaps soon, even bigger events. And that message was heard loud and clear. From packed stands to vibrant crowds, the 5 days of singles and doubles competition saw Filipino spectators roar with pride, turning ordinary matches into electric moments of national celebration. Tickets sold out early, not just for the local contender, world-class Filipina star Alexander Alexila, but for international stars like Croatia's Donna Vikic and Colombia's Camila Osorio, who ended up winning the championship. It's super nice. This city deserves a bigger tournament in the future, Vikic said. embodying the sentiment of many players who experienced Manila's warm hospitality and professional staging. From 125 to 250 and beyond, what's next? The WTA categorizes tournaments by levels: 125, 250, 500, and 1000, with rising tiers drawing stronger fields, higher ranking points, and greater global attention. A successful 125 event is an important first step, but hosting a WTA 250 or higher offers a leap into a much more elite category. The Philippines would be ready to do a tournament of a higher caliber, the WTA supervisor said emphatically during the Philippine Women's Open. That's an affirmation many in Filipino tennis are now eager to turn into reality. But moving up the ladder isn't automatic. Unlike the 125 series, which the WTA itself owns and can franchise to hosting cities, the 250, 500, and 1000 levels are traditionally controlled by private entities with long-term contractual arrangements. This means it's not just a matter of being ready physically and organizationally. It also involves negotiations with rights holders, financial commitments, marketing leverage, and the strategic interests of sponsors and broadcasters. Still, stakeholders in Manila see clear pathways and growing confidence toward hosting bigger tennis events. The PSC, Filter, local governments, sponsors, and civic partners are all re-examining plans for expanded facilities, enhancements to amenities, and broader engagement with tennis communities across the archipelago. There's even talk among some planners of creating a Philippine tennis center at New Clark City, a multisport venue for events of regional and global significance. In short, the Philippines is no longer thinking of hosting one big event. It's thinking about becoming a tennis hub in Southeast Asia. More than just sport, the broader impact. If tennis was once seen merely as an elite sport, the recent developments have helped shift perceptions. The Philippine Women's Open became a bridge linking grassroots interest with global prestige. It has energized young players, inspired a new generation of spectators, and positioned Manila as a viable destination for international tourists interested in sports tourism. For local athletes, the chance to compete against seasoned professionals on home soil is invaluable. The experience is not just competitive, it's motivational. Alex Ila, already a recognized name in global tennis, spoke enthusiastically about seeing what once was just a dream come to life in her homeland.